Thank you for joining me today. It's Sandra again from Articardare, back with this project. It's time to celebrate with cake. Yum! So I did a bit of schmoosing, whatever you call it, with my ink in 3 different colours. That's Tempting Turquoise, Soft Sky and Pacific Point. And then I thought I would have a go at some little gold embossing. I like a bit of embossing. So I've done this in the gold, stamped my sentiment and put some cake on there using crumb cake ink. And then I've done these lovely little, what I call bubbles, or whatever they're called. And this comes from the Playful Background stamp set, which is in the new catalogue. And the sentiment comes from Party with Cake. It's time to celebrate. So it's quite a big sentiment. Fills the page nicely. So we're going to have a go at that today, and we're going to get started. So I'm going to get a bit of paper that I can do some colouring on, because I don't want to make put ink all over my pad. So I've got 3 sponge daubers. And the inks I'm going to use today are Melon Mambo, which I've just put my fingers into. Ooh. So today I'm going to use Melon Mambo, Pink Pirouette and Rose Red. So I'm going to start with the Melon Mambo on the top. And to do that, I stamped off and then rubbed in. And I don't really know what I'm doing with this, because I'm just sort of rubbing the ink across the paper. I'm not very into this technique. I don't do it a lot. I'm a bit nervous of it, but I thought to myself, what the heck, just have a go, have a bit of fun. So that is what I'm doing. So bear with me if I'm not doing this correctly. I'm sure that I'll get better at it. But I thought, well, I like this technique. I've seen many people use this technique, and I just think that it looks quirky. And I think that because I'm not very practiced at it, that where I've done my schmooshes too much, that it doesn't really show up, because I've got my gold embossing bubbles on it. So that's good on there. I got this idea from a birthday card that I received recently. It's in the other room, so I can't show you it at the moment, but that's where I got the idea to do this ink schmoosing. So Rose Red next, get a clean dauber. So be careful with this colour, because it's quite bright. So I think that's more than enough ink on there. Probably a bit bright, but I love pink. Pink, my favourite colour. So I'm going to fold up those inks now, and then I'm going to stamp the sentiment and do a bit of silver embossing I'm going to do on this one. So I've prepped my sentiment on my block, and then I'm going to get my embossing buddy and rub that over, just to get off any grease or anything. And I've prepped up my little bubbles on my block. No, I'm not. I'm going to ahead of myself. I'm doing the sentiment first. Get your head round it, Sandra. Right, so into the Versamark with our stamp. Make sure that's good and prepped. I think that is. And then I'm going to put it slightly higher than I did before, because of my cake going, my little cakes going on there later. So press down on there. Put that away for the moment. This paper. And then I love the way it comes alive when you put your silver powder on it. I just find it so quirky. So I'm just going to tip it on. Like that. And straight into there, try and make as much mess as possible, because this glitter just does get everywhere. It really does. And then I'm just going to get my brush to brush the excess off with. What have I done with my brush? Here it is. There. I think that's good. Right, now we're going to get the heat gun. Sorry about the noise from the heat gun. I love the way you see this changing before your eyes. Always fascinates me. And there it is, there it goes. I really do like the way that just suddenly turns from powder to a nice silver look. There. That's done now. Turn that off. And now we're going to do our cake. So I've got my crumb cake for my cake, crumb cake for cake. And I've prepped my little piece of cake on my board. And then I'm just going to do one in the middle like that. And one off to the side. And off to the side. Oh, I like that better. Because on my original one, I did my gold embossing first and then found that I didn't leave room for my bits of cake, so I realised my mistake there. So we're doing it the correct way around this time. So now we're going to do our silver embossing round the outside edges. So again, I'm going to go over with this just in case I don't want any problems with the embossing powder, my embossing buddy. And then I've prepped up my bubbles and we're going to stamp them off. So it is hard to see where you've put your bubbles, but just hold it up to the light and then you can sort of see where you've gone with it. Just a bit there, and hopefully that's good. So silver embossing powder again. Around the edges. Hope I've covered it all. And lift that off. And voila. So I think I've just smudged there, so just get my brush. So you have to be very careful you don't get your fingers in it on the sides, which I think I may have done, so you need to watch that if you have a go at this. I think that's good, and I think I've got it all covered, and maybe just a few bubbles in the corner I've missed there. Right, so now we're going to heat step that off. Get rid of my glitter first. Right, I think I keep putting my fingers in this. Right, so heat done again. Takes a few minutes, so sorry about the noise. But as you can see, it really does look extremely pretty when you've done it, and such an easy technique to do as well. So I think that's all done now, all good. So I'm just going to move these papers out of the way because they're annoying me now, full of glitter. That's the only problem with glitter, it gets everywhere. So that's my card done. I have stamped on the inside of my card here with the same stamp set and ice cream. So it's time to celebrate with cake and ice cream and more cake. Sending many wishes your way, happy birthday. So I shall finish my card off on the inside and another time. I've stamped a few little bubbles around the outside just to finish that off. And I think you'll agree that that's a simple, easy little card which looks really, really effective with a bit of gold or silver embossing. So I hope you'll give that a go. And that's all from me for today. If I can help you with anything, let me know. But until next time, bye.